Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be working on Pony Avatar. We're going to be finishing her. We're very close to being done. It's really just mostly continuing to do texture work, moving the mesh around, rigging, and VR chat integration, and then we're good. So still a lot to do, but I think very doable within today's amount of work. I'm not going to set that right now. Okay. So one thing that broke recently was our claws. We had claws and we lost them. So we're going to go back just a few versions. This is why we make backups. And I think we'll go here. And we're going to see if we have the claws. Perfect. These are what we want. We will copy these, save them, go back to the main file, paste them here. Send this to hidden. You don't really need it, but I'm going to. I'll make sure to copy this material. And then also to. Hello, Popstar. Good morning. Turn this off. That should be off for all of them. It is. Good. Then we can combine them. Apply the subdivision. Combine them with this one. Guess we don't need to apply the subdivision. We'll still combine it with this one. Okay, we should be good now. The claws, we've got those back. Awesome. How's your morning going, Popstar? Just been up all night. Why are you staying up so late? Right now, not too much is up with me. We're just trying to get these trying to get this character finished. I think we're pretty close to finished. Look at those beautiful feathers. And we should have also have some feathers on the neck. So let's go back and make sure we've got that. There's something attacking me right now. Did not want to sleep. Brain would not shut up. Do you say that as in you personally didn't want to sleep, or that your brain didn't want to sleep? There should be this object here. Why is this not updating? All right. Maybe a little wider on those feathers. Wider. Wider. Let's turn off the wireframe. I'll turn off the clothing and the wings. Let's look at just in there. Just look at just this. I'm going to, we've got a subdivision. We could do one more, or we could apply the shrink wrap. I might as well just apply it. Take the interior here. Lower it. Okay. Hello, good morning, Arctic. These are still quite thin. Let's see if we can scale them up a little. Just made my first udon script. I can now open / close my chest. Let's go. Let's go, Arctic. Very cool. Your power is growing. I like it. Very cool. I feel like the body could do with a little bit more something. It just feels a little flat compared to the rest of all the materials and things like that. Even the shininess of these claws feels like it pops way more than the clothing, than the dress and the body. So let's see. Well, that might explain it. There's a mask on here. Yeah, I put the wrong mask on here. Should have been this one. That's funny. I guess my eye was correct. There was something going on. All right, she's got a little bit more luster. You can use a custom normal map. That's fascinating. It would be nice to have some sort of high frequency detail on the skin. Right now there is nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. So I got this kind of schmutz right there. I don't know what that is. Because I don't see that on the substance file. Oh, for some reason I feel very tickled right now. There's something, okay, just mildly fuzzy. I think my beard's just, when my beard just reaches the point where it's just long enough, I just start getting so tickled. It bugs me. Ugh. I hate it. I hate it. Kill me. Um, so let's add a fur. A nice, dense, coarse fur. Hmm. Would not have a color option. Kind of strange, right? Good morning, even. It still has a lot of color. Oh, here we go. Color. There we go. Why are there so many? I don't need that many colors. Some sort of like some other noise. The color kind of keeping in some noise. These like splotches. Splotches. Where's that coming from? Because they're all the same color? That might be. They're all the exact same color. They might blend together a little oddly. Oh, there we go. It was that one. Funny. I swear I tested them all a second ago. All right, that is pretty strong. So we just want to lessen the intensity. How's the texturing going? It's going well. Just getting some more minor details onto the body. Something to help sell the look of her. There we go. Hello, Warlock. Welcome. So the uploading Av and thought, no way. Now I've noticed I, and I'm disappointed. What do you think Av stands for? Maybe I should just do the fur as a tiling texture. Yes, I should. Yes, I should, but man, it's a lot of work. Let's just see what this looks like first. But hello, Warlock. How's your day going? Anonymous video indicators? I don't believe you. All right, I feel like it's a little too strong. A little too strong. There's some spots I want it masked out a little bit more. Why don't we try using RGBA color masking instead? We're going to take the Smart Fur, just turn it off. The fancy dress? Well, thank you. Fancy schmancy. Look at these wings. Look at the wings we've made. A little bit more fine tuning to be had, but they're coming out super well. Excuse me. Oh, hello, Katniss VR. Welcome. We're putting the final touches on this avatar today. Well, we're going to try to. Still more to do. And right now, what we're doing is we're going to try to make a tiling fur texture character. A tiling fur texture. How's your day going? I'm doing well. Doing well. I'm feeling slightly fuzzy today. The feathers have physics. They will have, the whole wing will have physics. Each individual feather will not. Timing for textures? What do you mean? Tiling? Let's open up Instamap. Awesome to hear. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm really enjoying some of this work we're doing. Probably one of my more complicated characters. We made this whole graph to make the feather. And now we're going to make another graph for some fur. Doing perfect as far as that goes, since it's pretty much hot and I'm tired, but finally the weekend for me after work. Hey, but doable. Gotcha. I read that funny. Well, good. I'm glad it's your weekend. Hope you're having a good start to it. And they have a fur texture. Wow. That makes it easy. We'll start with this. Let's do file. Just happy you're going to talk fur. Talk fur. This is 2048, and I really only need it to be... right, Unity is going to scale it up to 2048 anyway, so might as well start here. So we have the fur texture. We'll put it right in here. We're going to set it to tile, probably by 20 by 20 to start with. And we're going to say stochastically sample, which will help prevent seams. Right now the texture is really strong. We can kind of push it down a little. Inverse this graph one time. I get some rest, but not a whole lot since I have an event in VR chat. Well, technically two. Making graphs, and I have to add math tag to the stream. Do I have Wyoming's fur shader? No. But I could get it. got me curious on checking Resonite vid again. Seems a bit has changed this last year. There should be more to change too. We're gonna get Koyomi's fur shader. Give me a second. I think I have to boot up Discord for that. Okay. Yeah, definitely. He's definitely looking darker than that. All right, Koyomi. Patreon files. Last time it was updated was July. Seems a little surprising. Which version am I in right now? How can I tell? I can tell because of last time installed Koyomi 9.0. I thought there was a fur. Maybe it's tucked away in one of these options now. See fur as an option there. Oh, look anything. Gotcha. This is just the standard Koyomi package. I see. Have you counted that Substance only reads your low to high if you name them exactly underscore low underscore high? Because I always see you naming them LP, high HP. I don't have an issue with that. You can add a suffix. So, but I'm just loading my high poly in here. So I'm pretty sure that when it says high poly mesh suffix, you have to have an underscore for it to be looking for it. So I don't add an underscore. I just use space low poly. I'm not using underscore low poly. Yeah, you could always switch it to by mesh name, but I never have an issue. That's too expensive. Do I switch to Warren's shader? Just take a look. Do I have Warren enabled? Let's get it really quick. Go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, all right. So fast for a shader. And I just switched this one over. I'd rather make a new one. You know how in the moment of danger, like a car crash, people perceive things in slow motion, collision, calculation, lag. Light a lot. Just burn scales, the biological implications are great. Should mask it. Weird. Oh wow, okay, that's quite a bit still. Even UV discard. So this is taking after Poyomi quite a bit. That's good. That is good. I suppose it looked a little bit fuzzier from a distance, but I suppose that's okay. I get up close and see that the character is fuzzy. I think what it is it doesn't affect this highlight here. What was it? Do not have a normal map. Ah, I see. This is why. So shiny sometimes? No, I guess not. I guess I just have to mask out the fur and then it'll look correct. What are guard hairs? Fucking clue. Okay, that looks better. The blurring was kind of taken away from it. Okay. Sharpen hairs. Sure. Seem to do anything. Ooh, yeah, that looks really fuzzy. Damn. Damn. Need to mask it out in some areas. Okay, but now I feel like we're looking at a fuzzy character. All right. How does fur work in Unity? Because that looks like it's going to crash every potato inside the VRC patch. I'll link you there, Gumroad. But it goes over the performance here. We're using Fast Fur Light. 402 frames per second. As far as I understand. Yeah, that's nice. There we go. No, I feel like we don't need many markings, but I still would love to get rid of this highlight here that looks so plasticky. Interesting. That must be up in smoothness. Use metallic A. No. Why is it baked into the freaking italic? Hello, Dragon Wolf. Welcome. I hate when stuff is baked for no reason. We're adding some fuzz to our character. Interesting that the claws are fine. Of course, because that's because I dropped it on there. So if we take the body and we can revert all, go to the FBX and replace that with body fur. And yeah. Now everything's fuzzy. Everything. You'll need to make a mask for that. It's so fuzzy. Oh. All right, we're looking good though. We're looking good. Now I just need to understand how to make the mask properly. The smoothness slider here seems to do nothing. Hmm. Darn. Looks like we will have to just separate it by another material. That's a bit unfortunate. But it'll at least make things a little simpler. Does look good though. Get rid of, need to update the substance texture. Load in. Should have, oh no, it's because it's now in the RGBA tiling texture. So we just have to remove it from body, shading. We were going to do a this, so we can just reset that. Okay. Good. Cool. So now for the fur, and we do want to understand how do we mask it? Height mask. I would like to use the mask from, but I guess it would have to be basically inverted. So we'll go to Painter. Go to our user 0 mask. Okay, never mind. It's just for the eyes. Okay, then we'll want another user 1 mask, which we can set to at the base, we would want it to be white, and then on the scales, we'd want it to be black. And then probably just any of our shadows, we'd want it to be black on too. If it wants to fucking load. Doesn't really matter because it's just for body. Well, it does matter for the mouth, actually. We want the mouth included in that. Drink a lot of water. So now we'll export again. And hopefully this will affect this will be the kind of mask it's looking for. Okay. So now we have our mask B. Cool. So we can mask out some of the fur, which is good because then I can just use the normal. Ah, there we go. Well, I can't use the the fur on the eyes because the eyes. Okay. Ugh. I guess I could make the eyes their own shader. It's the same thing. Um, sorry, debating with myself. Okay, let's go back to here really quick. The scales, they don't look that great when it comes to this mask. I'm kind of hoping to push out more. I think we need it to. So we will take our scale border, duplicate it, make it just for user. Oh, wait. It's not even on yet. Let's see what that does. Oh, come on, substance. It looks like too much. So, all right, we will duplicate this. Set this one to just user 1. Turn off the blur. This with a bevel. With a bevel. Why am I not seeing any changes? Because this fill is set to normal. It should be set to multiply. Or something. It looks so shitty. Normal's just fine. Look, it's real crunchy right there. So I think we'll still have to use a levels to push it out further. So get rid of this, place the levels. That's a little too strong. Where's the balance? Where's the balance? Putting multiple box sliders on a mesh, a bad idea. It basically, I basically built a box out of box sliders on my chest so I can drop stuff inside it and shed it. But no idea if that's a noob mistake or not. Generally, the primitive colliders are the fastest. You could make a custom mesh collider, but if you can get away with using box colliders, I would assume it's faster. The only way to know for sure would be to actually just do a comparison test of some sort. Oops. Oh. Excuse me. Whew. I don't be so burpy. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. Why isn't a triangle pyramid collider more efficient than a box? Should be logical for the head, at least. I don't think that's the goal of Arctic's colliders. But I think technically triangle collider would be simpler, but I think I wish I had the option to re-export just one channel. That'd be nice. Okay, I think that looks good. It's just about to start touching that edge, and it just, the hairs, if they're pulling up the scales, look bizarre, so I do not want that. Do not want that. All right, now let's focus on the lips, because I'd like it to be less fuzzy right around the mouth. And to do that, I will make a new template flat. And we'll call this for specifically the height mask. We do want to paint, but more than anything to start with, we want a generator for the UV border. So I should be able to get a nice blur right around there. Oh, that looks like shit. So we won't do that, and we will paint it by hand. Okay. Clean it up a little. And then filter, blur. Looks slightly frightening there, but it's very cool. Nice mask. Baking pointiness and dirty vertex colors to be almost more important than normals and better looking. On their own, they work as a stylized look. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can make a whole game off that aesthetic. Much better. The eye socket, maybe a little bit more blur around the eyes. Go ahead and take this. Just do a very slight little paint right there. Something like that. Save. I don't remember if the clients ever asked, but have you ever received a request to include the cornea with your eyes? Sometimes I'll add it as like a normal map. You're talking about like the little bump on the eyeball. I might include that as part of the normal map, but because most of my characters are stylized, I don't think they're looking for that. Loading, loading, loading. Right. Just weighing if it's even worth including for the sake of all holy low try count. Probably not in terms of geometry. If you're going to use anything to fake eye realism, if I take my eyeballs here, so for my eyes, you notice that maybe it's not super obvious right now, but I have used a special or a UV modifier called parallax height mapping to give them depth. So I think in that way you can kind of imply depth, but there's no difference in triangle count. Just gives them a nice effect. Subtle. You're not going to see it all the time or really notice it all the time, but I do think it gives it a nice look. And the Unity cheating. Shaders are where a lot of your optimizations can come from. You know, you can just do it all in the material. There's probably not a need to do it anywhere else. Okay, very cool. I think that's about it. We'll want to blur the actual mouth texture. Maybe give a little bit of detail on the lips. Working in UE, I can't use that. UE uses the same type of shading language. And in fact, Unreal Engine has its own shader graph. It's actually, so you can go in and use it. You would just want to look up, I mean, I'm not saying you need to do this, but it would just be parallax height mapping shader Unreal Engine. Like how to make that. That's what you'd be looking for. All right, let's clean up the lips now. There. Excuse me. Excuse me. Cool. And then we'll also want to take a grading shadow, drop that into the mouth. Here. So I can use this one to create a nice shadow in the back of the throat. What you're saying is I could go over a 6-hour tutorial binge about parallax occlusion mapping. Parallax height mapping. Occlusion mapping would be something else. Anyway, I'm just getting technical now, but I mean, that's up to you. I don't think it's needed, but it certainly is something if you'd like to learn about, you'll have the option to. I think I'll actually put a little bit of shine on the lips, just to paint a little bit of shine. Actually, I might make the whole base body just a little bit shinier. Because why not? Gonna get covered up with fur. Anyway. But why is there fur there now? Why? Why would there be fur now? On the lip. Oh, why? Because it got painted out somehow? Huh. Oh, of course. I see. It's yeah, that makes sense. I would need to go in, go to my fur height mask, go to the paint, make a paint layer above this, and we'll just do linear dodge. That should work. I think we're doing good. All right, so let's just adjust the clothing a little bit. We're going to take the dress. We're going to do Alt S. We're first going to apply the shrink wrap. And we'll do that. Make it a little bit bigger in every direction. Hello, Caddy Cake TV. Welcome. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to animate and script up the mimics. Just making the cupboards open/close is kicking my arse at the moment. It programming stuff can be pretty frustrating sometimes. Okay, I do want a little bit more of like a some sort of metallic sheen or look to the dress. I'm doing well, Caddy Cake. We're working on this character right now. Getting them all painted up. Now here's the real mystery. Where is this shadow coming from? Is it pushing the hair down too? Okay, so it must be on one of my masks. Hmm. What the heck? What is that? I don't know. All right. Need to figure that out though. Right, it's not changing the depth of it, but it is still there. Is it something with my UV map? That'd be weird. That would be unexpected. I don't see anything there. So if we look at our UV map in here, I don't see anything kind of transferring or doesn't even show up in substance at all. But I do see it on my export right there. There's just a little speckle. It's even in my ambient occlusion map. So why don't I see it here? Or even here in my ambient? I don't see it at all. But it is getting baked in. Huh. Unless the ambient occlusion here, there is some shadowing, but it's transparent too, so I just can't see it. Let's turn on AO at the bottom layer. Perhaps that will help in and of itself, just adding that. Save. No change at all. Hello, Kabar. Welcome. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't think my maps are any different. They look the same to me. If I turn off dilation infinite. I mean, there's a good chunk of space on the border too between the side. Right here, that's, well, you should have an ambient occlusion. If you're baking stuff that's close together, you're going to get ambient occlusion, which is a shadow or a type of shadowing. Oh, wait, okay. It's gone. No, we're just looking at the other leg. Maybe. Well, it's showing up in a bunch of maps though. There's something disabled. There's the smart fur, but it was happening before that. Maybe it's the blur. The blur. The 3D blur. Where am I using that though? Somewhere in the shadows. Let's just turn the shadow layer off. Save. Export and see if it's gone. Okay, so it's somewhere in that layer. And my guess is that it has to be this 3D blur. Unless there's another 3D blur in here somewhere. It's just this one. So we'll turn off hair shadow. Then export and see if that's the difference. Hear a dog yelling outside. Seems fine. Seems fine. But we gotta check on the doggy just in case something terrible is happening. All right, so it's not that one. Now we'll do a binary search. We'll turn off. There's one. There's 6 layers, so we'll turn off the top 3. See if it's gone in that one. Okay, so it's one of these three layers. Has to be, it's got to be these contact ones. Okay, so what's happening is that we are exporting at 4K. Something that's a little odd about 4K. Any painting baker is that the filters and operations do change their effect, their look at certain resolutions. So most likely it's this one right here. So that's what it is. It's not that they're doing something different, it's just that there's a difference in area and resolution. There we go. Okay. Oops. All right, so we fixed that. It's a very annoying issue because it just doesn't show up in some instance. Like you just can't notice it. All right. So for our address here, we're going to tweak it a little bit because we are getting some stretching right there. So we're going to go back here. Go to clothing low poly, go to this view, take the dress, and we just want to see what we can do to minimize that because it does look bad. And we should have enough room to adjust everything else as well. I'm going to put our cursor right here. And where exactly is the issue? It has to be on that one. Okay. So we'll put our cursor right here, actually. Push that out. What about there, I would say? Definitely a little bit more resolution, but we still get quite a bit of stretching. I could adjust it so that a little bit more like this. It looks a little bit nicer, so we'll do that. Put our cursor here. Let's give that a shot. I'll actually turn on the clothing baker. So this should be the low poly. be the cage. Okay, pre-bake. Let's make sure our diffusion's on. We're only baking at 1024. Shit. Yeah, let's rebake the whole thing. Hey. All right. We forgot to adjust the maps of the other objects because there are other objects in here. Now they are clipping, so scooch this over. And let's put it right there. That actually works pretty well. It's back here. You also did a cage for the dress. I do a cage. I try to do a cage for every object I'm going to bake. And it doesn't look any different because it's very, very slight. You know, you really do want it to be as close as possible to the high poly, not to the yeah. Oops, that one should have been the low poly. This one should have been the cage. A little bit of clipping right there. And right there too. Wait, what? Was it clipping before? I don't think it was. Or no, sorry, it's not clipping. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's just the, okay. Gotcha. And you know what? That looks really good. We're also seeing some similar stretching right there. Let's deal with that one too. The main way we did that was simply by doing a bit of that, a bit of this, a bit of that. It's like we could do it a little bit more. As well. It didn't work as well as the other one. Let me back up there. Whoa, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly. Just pull it out a little bit more. Yeah, right there. All right, now we got to move this other stuff. What is that again? Oh, that's the bow tie. Doesn't fit there. So close. So close. I guess I could have. Popped it out that way. That'd work nicely. Those folds are so small and tight together, kind of like the toes. Wonder if the cage helps with that. Yes, it does. That's precisely what it's for. That is exactly why you bake it. Make it, bake it. 0. No clothing there. It goes there. This one goes into the cage. Refresh. Much better. Think again. That looks exceptional. Very good. All right, now what I'd like to do. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. Give the claw. So very light, maybe not so light, metallic quality. So it'll just kind of pop a little bit more. And the diamond pattern in here. More. How small did I make it? Small enough that you couldn't even see the tiles. Cool. Yeah, that's what I want. Cool. We're also going to add a nicer border. Because right now it's just kind of this shadow. Let's make it an actual thing. So we'll go into template, flat, grab this, drop it here. We'll call this border. Then we'll add a generator for the UV. We will turn down that distance quite a ways, 0.01. Then add a filter. We'll blur it a little. Actually use this one to smooth. Then duplicate this, put it up top, set it to linear dodge, and get rid of that smooth. Then add a filter. Levels. I may have not made it much of a difference. Levels. I'm going to kind of round off that corner. That's not too bad. Okay. Then we can go ahead and add something like just a slight difference in color. Add some height. Metal, roughness. That just gives the whole dress a little bit of visual distinction. So normal there too. Okay. Then we'll actually also take another template flat, drop it inside this, set it to just height. It's just this generator. Turn the distance down. So I get kind of a little bevel on the edge. Does look quite good. Maybe like a gold trim. Might look kind of nice. Gold. That does look nice. Then we need to go to Blender. Tail, wings, hair baker, body LP. That should be everything. Oh, and then the non-bake. Much better. Much better. Just the thing we're looking for. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Ignore me. Okay. 10:30. So we've got some time. We're getting super close to just being done with all the textures. There's a few more things we want to do. I think we want to add a texture to the tongue. Make it look a little bit nicer. Cool. Everything's looking very cool though. All right. Anything else? Oh yeah, the toes. For the toes, yeah, we can go ahead and rebake that as well. Cancel. I don't need sample. So when we go to our baker in Blender, am I selecting right now? Yeah, we can see the clipping in there. Part of that is because cage on the inside. So what we'll do, the best way to do that probably be, we're going to get clipping either way. We can't avoid clipping. No, we should be able to at least minimize it quite a bit. So let's grab these toes. Or no, it's this section would be from here to here. Okay, I see. From here to here. No, from here to here. There we go. Hello, Aura. Welcome back. I always want to say your full name. What does baking do? So baking is the process of taking the details from your very high poly, very detailed sculpted version and baking those into a texture that your low poly one can just have as like a material. So instead of having all the detail on your high poly character in geometry, you can kind of cheat and turn that into a texture. There's some pros and cons, as with everything, but generally it allows for just like a high fidelity look for a much faster runtime. Performance. Usually. As close as we can get. And we'll probably still go into the normal map. We'll see how the bake goes. So getting some clipping there. But also hello. And I select things because that's the high poly we're looking at. It's all fine right there. Okay, let's see how this goes. So we're just going to export the low poly and the cage again. Whoa. Excuse me. Balls? Oh. Funny. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I'm going to go into geometry nodes and we'll set the material here. So I want to keep the different material, the fur material on the low poly, but I want the use the main body material on the version I export. So here we're going to say set material right there. And we're going to let material be determined on the outside. On the outside, we're going to say use the body material. Okay. All right, that should give me some flexibility. I don't think I need to re-export the cage, but just in case. Just in cage. Maybe push that down to, yeah. All right, one more edit. In the high poly, low poly, got these. All of these. We're baking the bean over here. Baking the bean over here. Baking the bean over here. So here, we'll say I. Here, move down. Need to practice a little too. We're good. Never a time where practice doesn't help. Unless you need to get something done. This is the cage again. This is the I'm around. Good work as always. Thank you, Kubar. Good luck with your work. And we'll see you soon. Still getting a thought I moved the high poly bean. Oh, well, I didn't re-export the high poly, did I? No, I did not. Loading, 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 loading. Okay, so exported the high poly back here. Mode, bake, go back here. Refresh. And bake again. All right, it's gonna give the feet a much cleaner look. Ooh. But still some normal issues. So there's only so much we can do to fix normal issues on a mesh like this, where we literally have the feet intersecting. We're going to do some manual edits by removing the ambient occlusion and the normal map from the texture set. And we'll go to the bottom. We're going to add a template mesh. This is just a folder structure. Everything is empty, but it's 2 layers, empty layers with a white mask. And then we'll just search for the things we just removed, which would be name of the character, ambient occlusion, and the normal. So I've recreated what we have, but now they're editable, and we can edit them on a per map basis. Now, I don't know why we don't have this ability. I do strongly believe that we should have other ways to do this, but this is how you do it in Substance. And it's a little silly. A little silly willy. Okay. Now we've fixed up our normal issues in the creases. We do still have issues in the ambient occlusion. So I'm going to copy this mask, and I'd like to paste it to this mask, see what that looks like. That's about what we can expect. So now we're masking both of them. Clean up our mask a little. And I think what we'll do is we'll also add an anchor point here. And above this, we're going to use the world space normals to try to bring back the ambient occlusion into these spots. We're still got some schmutz there. That must be from something in the shadow layer. The shadow. Which we would need to... We'll worry about that in a second. For now, let's just turn it off. So we're looking at just this. Make another template. Flat. Drop that right there. We'll add an anchor point. No, sorry, not an anchor point. We'll add a fill so we can access the anchor point we just made. Now we can see we're targeting this, but we need to invert it. Filter. Invert. And we're just targeting these areas. So let us know we do need to clean up this little spot right there. And in fact, a lot of this we can go through and refine a little bit because it's pretty messy. We're a little ham-handed with our brush to start with. Up. And barrel lid that I'm holding is disappearing when I look away. Barrel. That is your so if you have any object that has mesh render, you have your where is it? Oh no, it's a skinned mesh render specifically. I don't think any of these are skinned yet. So in a skinned mesh render, you have this option called update off screen because your bounds, you either need to make sure your bounds are correct or turn on update off screen. So the bounds determine if you can see the bounds, then it turns the object on. If you, for example, have a bone that pulls that object, pulls the barrel lid way away from the bounds, because the bounds don't dynamically update, then you would need to turn on update when off screen, and that should fix it. All right. So now that we've done that, we're not really doing anything in here. I will actually go back to the painting layer here. Turn on the mask view because I want to paint in these shapes in here in the toes with a UV texture. So when I blur them, it blurs properly. Then we can filter. I'm going to use a 3D blur on this. I'm going to put it below, make sure the anchor point's above it. Blur settings, blur amount, just turn that up a little. Maybe just 2 would be okay. Ooh, that didn't help. Guess we'll do another blur after that, but a normal blur. Just to kind of finish it off. All right. What are we looking at? Okay, now the edit blends in smoothly. Okay, and then this, we're going to call this our mesh map fix. And everything we're going to do to fix our mesh map goes in here. So we're going to make another layer with a world space in here, because we can target that world space specifically using right to left and left to right. So that should give us a nice soft fall off in between them tootsies. And all we really need is just a little bit of color, mostly the ambient occlusion. Okay, let's focus on just one side first. Right. Right. It's also a baked map. Really? You can't just use the the world position samples it too? I guess that makes sense. That's a little annoying. Okay, then let's do what we were doing, which is just fill it with ambient occlusion. Maybe set it to multiply as well. And yeah, there we go. And then we can just add a little levels on top. Push it down a little. About there, so the simple bare necessity. And we definitely need to. Whoa. Super laggy. Yeah. Oh. Surely there's a way to bake like an intersection. Like you must know that something's intersecting. Like, that must be a map you can bake. Why isn't that applied to things like, hey, probably sampling the wrong thing here? Now, ambient occlusion doesn't need to be that dark. We'll do another blur. Last blur. Okay. Pretty good. Now we need to adjust a few things. First is there's a shadow on the cloths. 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 But there should be. Maybe a shadow for the bean. I guess it's in its own layer. Not sure why it's in its own layer, but it is. All right, we'll go ahead and export these now. Very good. Excuse me. All right, we only have one more hour to work on our project here. For the text string, sorry. Not just the project as a whole, for our text string. I only want to spend another hour working on the text string minimum. My main goal is to make the feathers just look a little bit nicer, because right now we have kind of this harsh cutoff. I'd like to make it pointed, make the ends, tips of the feathers look a little softer. So we're going to do that. We're going to do small feather here. Wait for it to load. And what we want to do is adjust our little map here. We've got that. We use the levels in order to kind of push into it. I think we could use something else to do that. Or, yeah, we can use a blur. Right here, I think. Um, I'll just use this whole thing right here. This point. Okay, yeah, I could bevel this one. That'll give me an interesting result. Does not like that. Does not like that at all. It's already beveled. What we actually need to do there's another type of bevel in there. Maybe that would be good. Ooh. Um, Not what I expected. Oh, right. I remember what I could do. A radial blur. that would work. All right, these are all fine, but what I would want to do is take this, bevel it outwards, so I get something going out, soft. Now we have this distance from the feather, which we can then blend onto it. Like a we go the other way. Boom. Boom. This side multiply. Not quite. There to there. Set it to there. Dodge. Yes. See? Now it's tapered. Cool. And this is what we can feed into the levels. So getting very harshly cut off. Why? Because that's the shape. What are we adding here versus here? Just a little shadow. So when we make our, excuse me, our actual gradient here, this opacity mask, why can't we just use this one? So I'm just blending this black and white image into it. Why can't I just use this one? The answer is I can use that. Now the shape could still use a little bit of work. Now we've got a nice feathery shape that we can play around with. A little too big right now. Can't select any of these. Don't want it touching the top. Why does it just disappear? Damn it. I put this over here and it just actually goes away. I guess because it expects us to use constants, which we are using. Yeah, you need it to be a constant, so I guess so. All right, a little bit of chunkiness. Go back up to the feather. Export. Back to Unity. And we're hitting the edges of the actual mesh, which kind of looks cool in a way, but that means we need to shrink levels. So go back to our levels one more time. Need to make it smaller. A little bit of crunchiness right there. Also adjust our bevel. There, okay. In, down. These are redundant, but okay. In fact, yeah, we need to clean this up because this bevel down here or no. That's right. Just see if I use this one. And our distance is determined by this. Okay, at least they're a little pointed towards the end now. Can I adjust the fall off on the feather itself? Yes, yes I can. Just say 0.5. I think that's where it usually is. All right. Let's make a normal map. So we'll take our feather that we've worked so hard on, and we're going to do normal map. And then we'll get an output. Fancy! Fancy schmancy! Beautiful. Also, we'll make an ambient occlusion. That looks pretty good. And there's a few more we can add. Element image gray. We got the roughness. Which I can either use this one to create by just dropping it into a gradient map. Roughness, as I always have to remind myself, 0 means 0 roughness, perfectly smooth, and 1 means other stuff. So, boop. That looks right. So, 0 roughness means perfectly smooth. Yes, that seems correct to me. Right there. There shouldn't, we don't want it to be shiny in the creases. Though completely dark is probably also kind of extreme, so. Well, no. Completely smooth is kind of wild. Or yeah, sorry, this way. Like more like that. And we're not going to see a difference because I have not dropped anything into here. So 2 things. First is light data. We'll drop our 80 in here, and I'll actually probably put a soft gradient on the ambient occlusion too. That'll look really nice. It looks wrong. Something about that looks a little weird. No, it definitely looks weird. What's going on there? Hmm. Is that what it looks like? I mean, it definitely doesn't look like that. I must have grabbed the wrong thing. Yeah, okay. Like, there's no way. Okay. Just gives it that little bit of softness. All right, but let's add that gradient to, oh no, before I do anything else, blah, 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 blah. Down to reflection and specular. And I suppose just a little metallic. Yep. Feathers are just a little metallic, so. Merge. Behold! The Undivider. That doesn't look too different. Just say okay. A little darker orange. I think just a little metallic, not fully metallic. All right, back to Instamat. We're going to get our ambient occlusion. We're going to take this gradient from the very beginning, and we're going to blend it onto here. This with a multiply. Very strong. Let's get a levels, or actually, yeah, we'll just do a gradient map. Funnily enough, I could probably just make a whole new gradient for it, but yeah, a little too strong. Right there. Interesting. It's a very strong on the longer feathers because they're basically just a stretched out version of the other feathers. I might need to make 2 feathers. They hold up pretty well though. Okay, I'm going to take these ones and we're going to set them to 1024. They do not need to be very big. And we'll just want to make sure we have high quality compression on. Good. All right, I think we're rocking that now. Very good. I'm going to go to the restroom. I'll be right back. 1 moment. We returned. So, I think we're at a good point to stop working on the textures. And we're going to do the last 30 minutes before lunch of our morning stream. We're going to turn our attention to rigging and start seeing what problems need to be solved for that. So first things first, let's make a backup copy of our character. Plus 13, we'll call this bake version. So when I need to return to baking the character, that's the version I will go back to. Now we're going to get rid of everything we don't need in our scene. So that'd be this. Go ahead and delete hierarchy. We'll even delete our baker and poly. I think this is a misnomer. Delete everything delete the collections themselves. Hair baker. We just want to mesh it now. And delete. Clothing baker, delete hierarchy, delete. Hair curves, we can delete that whole hierarchy. Okay. So now that should be all the objects we have. For the feathers, let me back up a second. We'll get the wings back. It's because there's so many of them. Do those one at a time. So for the feathers, select all these, mesh them, then take the curves, delete them. Mid feathers, ooh. All right, don't delete anything yet. What did I lose to break the wings? Okay, I didn't lose it just yet. Something here. Ah, I see. Do I have to mesh them all at once? Let me do it. The issue is that, okay, we'll just select them all and say make single user object. Okay. That should prevent it. Mesh. Good. Okay. Mesh these. You know what? I actually will not. I think I will keep those as a geonodes just for now. But for all these other feathers, go ahead and combine them. All right, so now we're looking at kind of the final chunk. Somehow we did end up over 70,000. What did that? There must be a duplicate object somewhere. I was right. Going through now and merging things. That need to be merged. The teeth I'll pass on. This could be combined with the body later. Okay. I think we're doing good there. I should not have deleted the hair curves. That's okay. We'll grab them again. Well, it's not too hard to recreate what I want to do. Basically, I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to send this to... I'll just isolate it right now. We're going to call this hair bones. Or bone. Creator. Hey, that hurt. my like ribs cramped. Alright, so for anyone wondering how to make bones out of curves quite easily, or out of a solid mesh, this is my secret. These are my secrets. Select everything like that, and then we just collapse them. So basically recreating the curves. I could have gone and gotten the curves from the other thing. I didn't really want to. Now we will actually convert it into a curve. Because in here, for some reason you can't decimate single lines. I don't know why. But this is a little easier if we want to do decimate curve. Let's say 0.1. Oh. First we'll turn it into a Bezier curve. Curve, yeah, decimate. Actually, no. We'll make a new object. Add a, we're going to go to GeoNodes really quick. And this one, you're going to add geometry nodes. Why do I need to make a new object for this? Okay, I'm just going to add it directly onto this. New, take our geometry. Right now we have curves, right? This is a curve object. Yes, it is. So let's say resample curve. Bam. And we'll turn this down to 3. So each curve gets resampled to 3, maybe 5. 5 points. And then we'll say curve to mesh. I'll put that right there. And we'll mesh it. And so now we've got our resample. Cool. Then we're going to go to add modifier. No, sorry, I take that back. I'm going to turn it up one more. 6. 1, 2. Yeah, that should be good. Then we'll mesh it. Then we're going to add a modifier, a skin modifier. Take all the roots. Still missing a few. Right there. And then we'll say mark as root. If it's all of them. And then we can say create armature. Take the original mesh. Now we've got a bunch of bones. Easy peasy. Back to layout. And select all these bones. I'm going to call this one hair. Select everything and say copy to selected. Now they're all named hair. Then I will make one more bone. I'm going to call this one hair. I'm going to undo this really quick. Go back to that bone I just made. Call it CC underscore. So we're going to add this to an auto rig pro rig. We want to make sure we can export it later. That's how we do it. Okay. Then a new bone. CC underscore hair. Boom. I have stuck my stuff in the containers successfully. Hey, let's go. Those containers are stuffed. Yeah. Yeah. That looks great. The stuff and things. And we'll take all the roots again. Which are a little bit easier to see in this mode. Like the pair parent and pin it, keep offset. So now they're all parented to it. Stepping on here. Oh, missed just a few. Just a few. Awesome. Quick, easy pair parenting. Woo! Oh. 11:41. Do another 20 minutes. Sorry, excuse me. Hello again. Welcome. Hello. 101 bones. Definitely a lot. Definitely. But now we can just go in, and the ones we don't want, we dissolve. It's dissolving one too many, right? I just want this one. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm going to select the link. This one here is too far. This one's probably too far as well. This one. Because it's so low. No, we'll dissolve. Yeah. Then a lot of the root bones we won't even need. Delete. I don't think we'll even want the tops of here to move. So grab those. Delete. Much better. Really even that? We'll see. We shall see. Ba-da-da. Two, three. Bone. 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 Try to keep these in the same rough position. What if there's a way to reset the position of the barrel lid if you release it close to the original point? You would need a collider. So like on trigger or on released, check if it's in a collider, and then attach itself to a point. Something like that. Oh, these are, no, let's wait. These ones don't even need bones right here. Those bones won't move, or those hair strands won't move. Trigger it to set position to 0, probably, since it's on a bone. Ooh. Yeah, oh, I see what you mean. Okay, it's like it's on a character. All right, 37 bones, that sounds much more reasonable. Let's go ahead and go into our armature here. We're going to make a bone collection called custom and assign all of them to this collection. All right. But there we go. It has begun. All right, so let's turn on the armature here, and the base humanoid. We're going to take our hair and combine it directly. So now it should be in the custom layer. It is awesome. Let's also go ahead and rename character. Awesome. Okay. Okay. I will have to go back. Oh no, it is already rigged. Is there anything else named body in here? I don't think so. Is this that bug again? Where I can't name something body? I think it is. Balls. Unless it's in here. So take this parent to the armature. So now we get some movement. None. Why? We have the groups. I haven't seen that before. Oh, it's disabled. There we go. All right, so now we'll take the body and the rig, and this is going to be our main focus for the next 10 minutes before I go to lunch. Because now we need to match the internal bones to the shape of our character, because we've definitely moved things around quite a bit. Take the tail. Just make it exact. promised myself last time, I would ensure that the final bone, that there's a tip. You do want a tail tip, as it turns out. Okay, and then we go to limb options. We'll set this to 12, I think, is more than enough. Quite a few. One, two, three. Two, three. Beautiful. This is tedious. One, two, three. But worth it. So I did see someone posting recently about how to get sharper bends or like less deformation, that you can move the kind of bone, the joint, closer to the surface. If I put it up, I guess I want, that'll work fine. And move these up closer to the surface, then it'll bend a bit better, something like that. Pinch more. Let's finish this hand and then I'm going to go on lunch. A little small there. I think I need to move these one. All right. Nice. Right off the rip. Definitely need some updates, but going good. All right, y'all. It's time. Time for lunch. Time for me to go get my run in. We'll be back, though, in just a little while. I think we're pretty close to finished with this avatar because we just have the rigging. Texturing's pretty much done. It's really just fizz bones for the wings and hair and ears. Just a few things. So I think we'll be done with the rigging in about an hour after I start lunch. Get the face rigging done about an hour after that. Toggles. Will either be, this should be very close. Have a nice break. I will, Arctic. Thank you. I appreciate that. And everyone else out there, hope you all have an amazing, amazing day. I will be back in 2 hours. I'm just ending the first stream for today. Going to lunch, and I'll be back soon. Pixie, hello there. I know you just rolled in. Unfortunately, you caught me right before lunch. But I do hope you have a great day. Thanks for coming by. Thank you all for coming by. Hope you have an amazing day, chat. And again, I'll be back in 2 hours. If I don't see you later today, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Pixie. Bye, everyone. Bye, chat. See y'all soon. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.